I've had a few people ask me why I haven't done any videos talking or anything lately, and I go through phases where I don't have much to share because I'm doing deep internal work usually when that's going on, and that can look like a lot of different things. It's usually apparent by my Facebook wall, but that's the way it is when I do deep work. It's hard to come out when you're in. But I've been writing since and throughout this last series of events. And I let one person know that I was really trying to compose my story from the beginning in an effort for myself to make sense of what's going on. The past is a good place to sort through things, especially when it shows up in your present day life and hadn't been there for decades. So that's has to do with my ex-husband and him being in the nursing home, and also struggling with alcoholism, which has been a predominant factor in my life. So I'm gonna be producing, I guess what would be considered a manuscript, in an attempt to sort through my life, which is really what I've had on the horizon in my mind that would ultimately happen. I feel like that's happening in a way that it hasn't happened before. I've written a lot of things down as I've remembered them or whatever, but producing something I feel like that somebody would be interested in reading is something different. So that's what I'm making an effort at doing now. And I want to make an audio version of the original copy of what I write, because I'm sure if it ever gets printed, it will be edited in some way or another. So here we go. The Cold Heart's Journey. It turned out to be simple, but it wasn't fucking easy. I can't remember a time when I could not feel a call on my heart. As I sit and ponder over the course of my life, what set me on the path I chose when I was very young and impressionable, it is easy to see and leaves me in awe of the mystery of life. A sense of the majestic comes over me as I begin to understand from the 5 decades I have experienced life how simple it is. I understood and grasped it from my earliest consciousness. It was hidden deeply in the fabric of the space which lies between each beat of my heart. I was born in the year of the merry monkey, with the zodiac sign of Gemini twins. Regulus, the brightest star in the sign, or the brightest star in the constellation Leo, the kingly star, was in the heart of the lion on June 11th, 1968 at 12:30 p.m. I joined the Nature Clan according to my elders and brothers Cater Brown and Malidoma Somé, to whom I dedicate this book, for which their help when they arrive in the story. This story would never have been lived and could never have been told. It is apparent to the more than casual seeker what that last paragraph means, the significance certain facts surrounding our lives can hold. A deeper dive into my origin tells this: the time of my arrival and purpose were of a royal, kingly order, which was going to require the courage, or heart of the lion, in the antics of the monkey, with the ingenuity of a pair of twins, and the magic of all nature to support and ultimately bring about the success and fulfillment of the purpose, calling, and destiny for which I was born, even as all nature works together for the good of all that is. It feels now, looking back in hindsight, this calling on my heart has been the only guide I have had all along my journey. I have questioned it, gone my own way time and again over the course of my life, but that calling was always there, showing me the way I needed to go, whether I went to the right or the left. It was always a word in my ear saying, "This is the way, walk ye in it." Even when I felt I had gone so far from it, there was no way I'd ever make the journey back to where I last saw the light and knew my feet were on the right path. This manuscript you hold in your hand is the record of the journey my feet have traveled, the lessons I've learned, the losses I've suffered, the consistent pull on my heart in a certain direction, no matter the circumstances I was in. The call was always ever present at times. It has been a nagging background noise I wasn't really hearing in the mixture of noise I had surrounding me in my life. It was the silence you feel when the electricity goes off and all the humming and background noise suddenly ceases. That silence is tangible for a brief few seconds. That underlying silence is what the call on my heart is likened to. That brief space when everything stops. To understand that space in silence, which comes so rarely and from which we continually, as humans, avoid, is the very place by which we find freedom, because therein lies outer space. It is my hope that seekers who find my story in the vaults of history will also find hope and a fresh perspective of life and the journey of a soul. I think I'm going to put my poem that I wrote, The Journey of a Soul, right there. Life is a journey of the sacred soul. Where is it? How do we know? The butterfly in its safe cocoon must find out how to leave its room. It must break free and find out how. Must travel a wormhole. Must find a wormhole and travel it to the end until it can begin again. Over and over the process goes until finally it is a rose. Just trying to remember the rest of it. Anyway, I think that's where I'll put that poem. And then chapter 1. Early beginnings. I don't have the usual childhood memories of frolicking fun, lots of friends or family. My memories of my young life are few and far between when it comes to most things. I have flashbacks, which I will leave for the part of the story where they came to me, as the surrounding circumstances are significant to why I remember them. Most of the memories I have are with two significant influences, my grandmother and our elderly neighbor, Mr. Morton. I spent many weekends at my grandmother's house learning about Jesus, going to Sunday school, and being cared for in a way no one else did in my family at home. Grandma was always present with gentle words of encouragement and comfort. Never did she speak harsh words which pierced the sensitive soul of a child. She read me Bible stories, helped me memorize Bible passages, loved me unconditionally and was always a strong tower to which I ran often when very young, less as I got older, but always we were close. I have a few of the letters she wrote me back then because in those days we had to write since long-distance calls were 30 cents a minute or more depending on where you called. The end.